Welcome to Rich Tribe. Today, we are asking a massive question. What exactly is the BLC hypothesis, and how does it completely explain self-control? Look, we see it every single day, right? You've got people out here making multiple six figures, driving luxury cars, living in these massive homes, yet behind the scenes, they are literally one missed paycheck away from total financial ruin. Why is that? Well, today, we're diving deep into a masterclass on the psychology of wealth building. We are going to unpack the hidden biological and psychological forces that dictate whether you actually build generational wealth or if you just look rich while secretly being completely broke.
Wait, hold on a second. If someone is pulling in $250,000 a year, how on earth are they still broke? I mean, isn't wealth building just basic math at the end of the day? You make a lot, you spend a little less than you make, and boom, you get rich. Why doesn't making good money automatically translate to actually keeping it?
You would think it's just math, but the root of our financial struggles actually isn't math at all. It is entirely about psychology. See, average earners focus heavily on the math, but truly wealthy people focus on the mind. And this is perfectly explained by something called the behavioral life cycle hypothesis, or the BLC hypothesis for short. It was formalized by these economists Hersh Sheffrin and Richard Thaler, and it tells us that our financial behavior isn't driven by logic, not at all. It is actually an ongoing, brutal internal war between two totally distinct identities living inside your brain, the long-term planner and the short-term doer.
It's fascinating because this brilliantly illustrates exactly what is happening inside your head every single time you touch money. On one side of the ring, you have the planner. Now, this is driven by your prefrontal cortex. The planner is super rational. It's thinking about long-run wealth, your retirement, making smart investments. But on the exact opposite side is the doer. And that is driven by your limbic system. The doer absolutely doesn't care about 10 years from now. The doer only cares about your current situation and immediate gratification. It wants to buy that new watch or upgrade the car literally today.
Okay, that definitely sounds like a tough battle. But how does this whole internal conflict actually affect my bank account in the real world? It all comes down to a concept called mental accounting and the actual psychological cost of self-control. There's research published in the Journal of Behavioral and Experimental Finance that shows how we categorize our money completely determines how easy it is for the doer to spend it. So think about this. When a high earner gets, say, a $10,000 yearly bonus, their doer views it as free money. It's right there, it's highly accessible. It takes a massive psychological cost, an immense amount of willpower to not immediately blow that bonus on a luxury vacation. But money that is automatically locked away in an investment account, that has a super low psychological cost to save, simply because the doer views that money as totally off limits.
Wait a minute. Are you seriously saying that being broke is just a biological failure of willpower? Because that kind of sounds like a convenient excuse for just having a lack of discipline. Is our biology literally rigged against us building wealth?
Well, research from Binghamton University explains that honestly, it really is a biological war. Your limbic system is wired to have an overwhelmingly strong response to immediate rewards. When you see something you want, your brain just floods with signals urging you to consume it right then and there. Now, your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for planning and reasoning, that acts exactly like a muscle. If you don't exercise it by deliberately making future-oriented decisions over and over, it just weakens. So trying to rely on sheer willpower alone, that's a losing game for sure, because your limbic system is incredibly persuasive.
And look at how our modern world completely amplifies this biological weakness. The folks at Matone Counseling hit the nail on the head. They noted that capitalism reliably manufactures dissatisfaction, and our environment is designed to keep you activated. Think about it. Your limbic system, your doer, is under constant, relentless attack from highly targeted ads, algorithmic comparisons on social media making you jealous of your neighbors, and super frictionless buy now, pay later features. The entire consumer environment is literally engineered to completely bypass your planner and trigger your doer. That right there is exactly why willpower is simply insufficient.
Okay. This psychology makes total sense in theory, but I want some hard proof here. Does mastering this internal battle actually result in real, tangible dollars and cents for the average person? Or is this all just fun academic theory? Oh, it absolutely translates into massive real-world wealth. Just look at this unbelievable data point from the National Longitudinal Survey of Youth 1997. They studied grit, which they defined as perseverance and passion for long-term goals. The study found that just a single 1-unit increase in a person's grit score predicts an estimated $25,800 increase in net worth by the time they hit age 30. That 25 grand, that is the literal cash value of your planner successfully defeating your doer.
And furthermore, it's really important to understand that having high grit also yields hundreds of dollars in additional liquid assets. Now, it's not magic. It won't instantly erase your existing debt. You definitely still have to do the hard work to pay that off, but grit heavily, heavily drives the positive compounding wealth behaviors over the long term. We're talking about consistent saving and intelligent investing rather than constantly falling back into impulsive spending.
Sure, that sounds great for the balance sheet, but what about the actual emotional toll? Doesn't constantly denying yourself immediate gratification just make you totally miserable and anxious all the time?
You know, people always think that, but actually, scratch that, it's the exact opposite. Research from the Diva portal shows that people who successfully exercise self-control suffer from significantly less financial anxiety. Why? Because they aren't trapped living paycheck to paycheck. They feel profoundly more secure and completely confident in their current and future financial situation. Mastering the BLC hypothesis doesn't create misery at all. It creates absolute peace of mind.
Now, before we move on to the exact, actionable framework you can use to hack this psychology and start building real wealth today, please make sure to subscribe to the Rich Tribe channel, like, comment, and share. Your support is absolutely crucial. It helps us bring you more of these high-value masterclasses.
All right, let's get into it. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is that building wealth requires systems, not just sheer willpower. Here is the real-world execution plan to literally trick your brain into wealth. Step 1, automate your savings and investments. Make it so the money leaves your account before you ever even see it. Step 2, add payment friction to purposely slow down your spending. And step 3, categorize your mental accounts really clearly. You need to have a strict, undeniable boundary between your spending money and your wealth-building money.
Okay, I like the sound of that, but can you give me a concrete example of these systems in action? Like, how do I actually add this payment friction to my life right now, today?
It's all about shifting from harmful friction over to helpful friction. Harmful friction is having to manually log in and transfer money to your savings every single month. Let's be real, you'll inevitably get tired and skip it. But helpful friction? That is going into your phone right now, opening up your digital wallets and deleting every single one of your stored credit cards. By forcing yourself to physically get up off the couch, go find your actual physical wallet, and type in a 16-digit number every single time you want to buy something online, you give your planner just enough time to wake up and stop that impulsive doer in its tracks.
Mentor, Binghamton University researchers completely nailed it with this insight. They said a more effective approach is to intentionally design your environment in ways that support your goals. True wealth isn't achieved by just trying really, really hard to be a better, more disciplined person every single day. No way. It's achieved by intentionally designing an environment where making those positive financial decisions becomes completely automatic.
So, at the end of the day, wealth is just not a math problem. It is a psychological war for your future. The environment around you is perfectly optimized to take your money. The only way you win is to optimize your own internal environment to keep it. So the final question you really have to ask yourself today is this. Are you going to continue to let your impulsive doer keep you broke? Or will you take control right now and build an environment where your planner can finally make you rich? The choice is entirely yours.